Father's Day. Father's Day can be joyful, painful, awkward. You might be the daughter who waited by the window for a visit that never came, or who learned strength from absence and softness through her own emotional recovery. Or you might be the daughter who had a dad who showed up, who protected you, believed in you, and laid the foundation for your confidence. Maybe you're somewhere in the middle. Could be. Maybe he's here, but you still feel unseen. No matter where you fall on that spectrum, your story matters and your emotions deserve space. This isn't about a Hallmark holiday. This is about a reflection. This is about reclaiming who you are and the kind of emotional healing that reaches across generations. Let's talk about Father's Day and what it means to honor the truth of your story while stepping fully into your own emotional empowerment. Maybe your dad was your anchor, or maybe he was absent. Maybe he left before you were ready. Maybe he's here and you still don't feel seen. Today, we're going to talk about Father's Day through the lens of emotional empowerment, the gratitude, the grief, and the growth. I'm Davina Dandridge, speaker, author of Brains Baubles Do What Works for You, and emotional empowerment coach. Welcome to Brains Baubles Live, where we create peaceful environments with clarity and sophisticated empowerment through emotional intelligence. Father's Day isn't a one size fits all, but there's healing for every version of it. Let's walk through this together. I always wonder what people really mean when they say daddy issues. So, daddy issues is often thrown around as a joke or an insult sometimes, but for many women, it's a lived emotional pattern. Struggles with trust, insecurity in relationships, over functioning to prove worth. And it doesn't always come from the absence, sometimes it comes from the presence where there's no emotional safety. Psalm 68:5 says, "A father of the fatherless, a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation." Even when your earthly father fell short, your heavenly father, he didn't. He was right there. Here's an action that you can take right now. Name one behavior or belief about men or love that you've inherited and ask yourself if that still belongs to you, because God can fill in those gaps where you're missing something. I have a part in my book and in my whole philosophy where I talk about the things my father told me. And I was blessed to have a good father's influence. I had a beautiful relationship with my dad. He passed in 2003, and I found him while I was 9 months pregnant. But he had poured so much love into me and confidence and emotional intelligence. He taught me that how I should show up. He taught me about my appearance, my emotions, my character, and they all demand respect. So I want to share the things that my dad taught me with women who may have not had the same type of dad I had, or maybe not have had a dad in their lives at all. He showed me what it means to be loved by a man and how to respect one. That's the legacy that I carry. But even with a strong foundation, I had to grow. Emotional empowerment isn't inherited, it's built. So let's take one action step. If your dad was present, reflect on one lesson he gave you that still empowers you. Write it down and then remember it. When it comes to fathers, some women need to heal, especially when the relationship was harmful or if the father was absent, because not everyone has had a good experience. Some women have been abandoned, criticized, controlled, or neglected, and it shows up in how you pick your partners, how you speak to yourself, and how you protect your emotions. That pain is real, but it's not final. You can write a forgiveness letter. You can write it to your father and to yourself, and you don't have to send it, of course. Just say the things you've never said. You get to break the cycle. You get to start your own healing emotionally. It's your responsibility. There are emotional triggers that follow the fear of abandonment. Maybe you've noticed that someone pulls away and then you spiral. Fear of abandonment often lives under the surface reactions. So you see the result of it. You might get clingy or get distance or even sabotage the relationship before it even starts. Understanding the why behind your triggers makes room for grace and growth in your life. In my gratitude journal, I might write, I'm grateful for the strength I gained in the moments I felt most alone. Then ask yourself, what did those moments reveal about who I've become? Because we're always growing. We should be always reaching for better emotional health so that we can have a better future. You have to be strong and build trust without being naive. Healing doesn't mean that you trust everyone. It means you stop distrusting yourself. Not every man is your father, and not every moment needs protective walls to start suddenly coming up. Set boundaries though, and you can speak about your needs. Your needs are what's important. And I always say the boundaries aren't for someone else, the boundaries are for me because I have to set up the standards that I hold up. So, what you would do is evaluate people for who they are, not based on who hurt you. And remember, trust is not about control, it's about clarity. You can only control yourself. Sophisticated empowerment is about creating the legacy that you deserve. Whether you're parenting or healing or both, you get to define what legacy means. Maybe you could reparent yourself. Maybe you show your children the emotional intelligence your parents didn't have. Either way, you are the change. Use prayer and gratitude journaling to affirm the emotional traits you want to embody and the traits that you want to pass down as part of your legacy. And then ask yourself, what emotional traits do I want to be known for? Then practice one of them this week. You can get started on your emotional empowerment immediately. All right, Sophisticate, what's the one thing you've learned about love, worth, or healing on your Father's Day journey? Father's Day can open up a lot of emotional doors. Some need to be walked through, others gently closed forever. But you're not broken, you're becoming the woman you've always wanted to be. So this is what you can do. Take the emotional sophistication map to learn where your healing journey stands. Then join the Emotional Reset Challenge to begin to break the emotional traditions that have hurt you. And read my book, Brains Baubles, Do What Works for You, and keep growing. See you next time, Sophisticate. You are safe, you are loved, and you are free to grow.